Top of the morning to you and welcome to another brand new episode on the Breakfast Show, Matters on Ground, right here at the studio, TSLNIGERIA TV. My name is Glory Brown and today on set you get to meet our host, a director by name Kere Modupe, who is accompanied by a special guest. And together they will be discussing the 2023 Electorate in view. Now, relating to this, our correspondent, Joy Matthew, recently went on the streets to get people's opinion to know how they are getting prepared for the coming election. Let's take a quick look at the video, and right after that, you get to meet our host and our guest on set. Stay tuned.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi.
Okay, so we're out and we're asking people their thoughts concerning the next year election. Let me ask you on a scale of 1 to 10. You know, 2023 is going to be the presidential election. On a scale of 1 to 10, how prepared are you?
2.
2. On a scale of 1 to 10, you're prepared like 2%. Okay, do you have your voter's card, your permanent voter's card?
No, not with me here.
But you have a voter's card?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you're going to come out to vote, right?
Yes.
Do you have your voter's card already?
I have my voter's card, but I'm not ready to vote for anybody.
Why do you not want to vote for anybody?
No. Our very country, Nigeria, is messed up, so I'm not ready. Even though you vote, they will not put the right person there, so there's no need of that. So I'm not ready to vote for anybody.
So if you are looking forward to this 2023 election, if they ask you, do you think it's going to be a successful election? It's going to be a good election?
Me, I don't know how it's going to be because why? Because the previous election we have been conducting, it doesn't work. As our president earlier said that it is possible for a price of fuel to be 14 naira in Nigeria, but today now reverse is the case. How much are we buying a liter of fuel now at present? And they are about highing it. And getting the product it's a little bit stressful. And upon that, with the increment.
So that is why you are not going to vote?
That's not only that one, no, because sin is so high in Nigeria. No, there's nothing good in Nigeria. The citizens are suffering.
So why not vote so that you will change that situation?
You know what? The one that all politicians they are the same. Of which the incoming one is still going to be worse than this present one.
Stay connected to TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria Space TV and join our online family.
Good morning. Welcome to this special edition of the Breakfast Show. Now, democracy and the principle of democracy is built on the issues relating to numbers. And there's this popular saying that in democracy, majority wins the votes. But in Nigeria, as it is with everything that relates to our country, whatsoever works internationally does not work in our climb. And that's the reason why this morning we decided to discuss something relating to the 2023 election, because the politics is being heated right now. We are seeing the old players dusting their boots, getting ready to come into the field again to be involved in our political exercise. So this morning I have with me on set a known face on this platform, and that's the person of Mr. Elvis Akpobi.
Good morning.
Elvis Akpobi is the executive director of Not Too Young to Lead, an initiative that helps to propel youth or support young minds to get into the political space to contest. Yeah. Now, before we discuss what we have to discuss this morning, sometimes I ask myself, is it that we have what we call selective amnesia in this country? 2020 was a very unique year for us. We thought everything about governance in this country would change because of the NSAS protest. Yeah. But I don't know what's happening. It looks as if everything has died down and we have returned back to status quo. Looking at the old brigades that are getting set to to run this race for us. Well, let's say your view, please.
For me, I noticed something that we're scared of change in this country as citizens.
Scared of change?
Yes. We don't want to pay the sacrifice for change.
Okay.
You hear people be like, maybe because of persons that paid sacrifice for change before now, they were not celebrated. So people tend to, make reference to that person there. He was the one that spearheaded this. Today he's dead, and you understand. Unlike if you check, there was a clip I saw about this Ukraine-Russia fight.
Yeah.
You saw citizens they came out en masse and they were like, they stood by their country. Maybe because a lot of persons have given up on the adjective Nigeria because we make up Nigeria.
Okay. Now let me ask you this question. Let us first of all begin from the very basis. The issues with Nigeria, is it that of followership or leadership?
It's a two-way thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're having issues with followership?
Before you become a leader, you must have followed.
Okay.
If your foundation as a follower is faulty, when you become a leader, you exhibit that at the table where you want to make critical decisions. And, you know, if you check, as a company, TSL Nigeria, if you guys are good with top-notch, your services delivery, okay, whenever I want to, you know, interview anybody for any, or recommend anybody for any position, as long as the person says TSL Nigeria TV, I'll say, okay, this is good to go. Just because before now you guys have exhibited capacity and all that. So when people who went through the political school of leadership from leaders whose trademarks are negative, it becomes a problem.
Okay, now one of the things that I love about this race is that despite the fact that we are having a lot of these old brigades coming into play, there's this particular, I don't want to mention it now, so I don't guys I'm endorsing anyone. He said something, he said, come on, Nigerians, this is what you need to do. This year, you have a lot of options available. The young, the old, the prepared, the ones that are not even prepared. He said, but you must look out for track records.
Yeah.
You must look out for 25 years ago, what is this person doing? What has he done? He said that will give you an insight to what he will do. Now, what is your view about that?
I agree with such persons. That's why I don't want to mention him, because you need to be able to, for you to be able to lead a country like Nigeria, you need to be able to have built something from nothing to something. You know, there are some persons, I call them genocrats, the older brigade that have made politics their career instead of vocation. I see politics as a vocation and not a career. But some of them, okay, when I'm living here, they already planned, this is where I'm going next. From here, this is where I'm going next. Just because with the electorate, I was watching a clip now that says, someone said he's not voting, that he has given up on Nigeria. Yes, it's now a culture that maybe your vote will not count, but I keep telling people that your vote will count. The previous election and the next election, they're quite different. People are now getting more aware. People now know their mistakes. And I'm a party man. I'm an essay to the governor. Despite there's this hunger for a better society. But that doesn't mean that Nigeria will not be better just because of my personal interest. I always tell people that the state we are as a country today, it has nothing to do with being in PDP or being in APC. It has a lot to do with... Is
there any difference between PDP? Because for me, I see APC or PDP as a surrogate model of APC.
Your opinion, though, but I think before now, if there were no opposition, if there was no youth advocacy, if you observe, most of their convention, you see almost the two major parties gravitating towards electing young people in some key positions. Like the youth leader of PDP today.
Okay, it's good. I'm going to come to that. It's good we have a situation when they are electing party leadership, they are putting young minds. But the truth is this, is that what we want? Because we know that no matter the structure you have in your party, it is still one man that calls the shots. The state is the governor, presidency. You see what happened with APC convention. They have to wait for a President Buhari to let them know, to give them direction that this is how the convention should look like. You say something, it's not about being old, it's about you having something to offer. There's something you said, I'm going to hold you onto it. You see, when it comes to getting to look for a job, it's quite that most of these multinationals, they'll tell you that for you to get a job, you need to have a minimum of 13 years experience. People who've been shouting as young minds, come on, where will I get 13 years experience from? It's not the same thing that you're saying they should do in politics now, that you need to grow through the rank, which means that as far as 2023 is concerned, there should be no youth.
There should be. It's what I advocate for. But you must have served under someone. You learn the rudiments of politics, because politics is deep. It's not... when you tell some person, just be like, this guy is good, he's a technocrat, he has bagged this degree, he has bagged... Does he know how to manage people? Because as a politician, as a leader, you meet different permutations of people that have their strengths.
But I
and
can be a
weaknesses.
leader and not be a politician. If I'm a leader in a small sphere, I've been tested in a particular area, not in politics now. Don't you think I have what it takes for me to function as a politician or to be a leader in a particular state?
It's a different climate.
Really?
Yeah.
So if you're a leader, somewhere that have led a multinational, cannot effectively function as a leader of the state.
There's bias in politics.
What do you mean bias? Please?
There's bias. There are times you need to bend.
Now, the reason why I'm asking you this question is because of the fact that you are the executive director of an initiative that is clamoring for youth to get into power. So if you are going to throw this part, don't you think in the next 50 years, there will be no place for youth in this country?
I've not said young people shouldn't come into power. I've just said, okay, if I understand you vividly, what you're saying is, once you're young, you can come into power.
No, not that. You might not be into politics before now. Maybe you have served as a leader in a particular sphere. So we want you to bring whatsoever experience you have in that sphere into politics. Yeah.
You can, but you need to still bring political. That's how it works. It's like a culture.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it works back here in Nigeria.
Okay, we're talking about Nigeria.
Back here in
Nigeria,
Nigeria, we're still developing.
Whatsoever works out there, it might not really work.
Yeah. We're still developing.
Let's move straight to the core.
Okay.
The electorate. How do you think the electorate are ready? Or you are still going to look at the situation when, as it happened in 2019, people will be paid to vote for a particular candidate?
I think electorates are ready, but they're poor.
Okay.
And when you're poor, you become vulnerable.
Okay.
And the political players, they make it as a point of duty to look for what you lack and give it to you, so it gravitates towards what they want.
Now, apart from the fact that we have this issue of vote buying, inducing people to vote, we still have issue with voting apathy. You see, the situation when INEC chairman says something that we have just only 30 to 35% of the total number of eligible voters coming out to vote. What do you think is the issue, and what should be done to be able to up the thing a little bit to get to like 55%?
Because there's this stereotype of our votes will not count.
Okay.
You get, it's like a caution. Do you know how it feels that you took out time, you went to register for a voter's registration, and you queue on the line, you voted, and your vote doesn't count? It's painful.
So how do you know your vote did not count? Because you just vote, so just one vote for you. You understand me? I go into the polling unit to vote. I just vote one vote. The other way one vote. Then the vote is counted.
Okay.
So how would I say my vote did not count?
When you see that this particular candidate, it's the people's candidate.
Well, how do you know the people's candidate? Choice.
It's
personal.
It's personal about opinions.
Opinion, because we see.
One of your correspondents went on the street and asked questions. When you ask like 5 persons and 4 persons are saying the same thing about 1 person, immediately you've counted that vote.
Now, do you think political parties have failed in the issue of voter sensitization?
No, I wouldn't say so. In most meetings, I will use my party as an example. There's always the need of go and register to vote. Okay. You can't just be saying you want this, you want that. Even when you buy forms and all that, there are places where you put your voter's registration number. So there is this. I think INEC have a lot of role to play.
To play, not the political parties.
Not the political parties that trying to win the masses that their votes we can't.
The votes we can't. But what about the issue of thuggery? Because one thing, like I for one, it's only recently I started going out to vote. Because the first time I went out to vote, I went with a very close friend of mine. If you see the ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, it was God that saved me. I had to run home, and that day I vowed that I would not go out to vote. Because the issue of thuggery, vote, national boss, we still have it in this time and age. What do you should be done differently?
Let me start with most of this, the thuggery you complain about, they're being carried out by young people. And there are no young people like you and I that are already privileged or exposed. Most of the problems we are faced with today, most of the people causing the problem, young people causing problems, are people in the village. Those youths in the village who are very gullible.
So they're the ones that...
someone can, as you are now, with your level of exposure, a politician cannot tell you that he wants to give you 10 million, then he wants to give you a gun.
Thuggery is a very lucrative business in this country.
Because we amplified and celebrate them.
No, but it's not that, because before now, I think during the military era, you have a thug. A thug sees the policeman and runs from the policeman. But this time and age, it's not the policeman that is guiding the thug.
I talk about...
Before now, we see thugs, they wear rags. But now, They drag Gucci with us.
I talked about poverty.
Okay, good.
When you are poor, you become vulnerable. A policeman that is poor, or a system that seems to have poor people, and that thug is financially stable. I will not mention it, but we all know of in Nigeria today that is celebrated is in a state in the western part of this country.
You don't need to mention.
You understand? But today, I think is a stakeholder, is a celebrity. Why there's a Nigerian that has very good pedigree, good degree, and all that, it's not celebrated. So it goes a long way to show that we've celebrated the wrong things. Things that used to be abnormal are now becoming not so bad, just because everybody wants to live.
Okay, 2023 election is right at the corner. Now, I wanted to have a message for the electorate. What should we do for us to get this desired change that we're looking for? Because we have a lot of options now. And one thing I discovered, before we even discuss that, one thing I discovered is this issue of you having to belong to a political party to win election in this country. You see the primaries, okay, they've done their conventions, soon we'll start having candidates for these major political parties. And I'm sure your guess is as good as mine. They are still going to bring one walking stick carrying man that is shaking, that have Parkinson's, as the person that, two options. You see, at the end of the day, we are left with two old men that have health issues, low thinking capacity, and you know what they say, that when you have two devils, you pick the lesser devil. So what do you think should be done differently so that we are not boxed, we don't get a corner when we have only little options to choose from?
I think the last time I was there, I made it known that as young persons, we get involved in party politics. If we have 50 members in a party and about 40 of them are young people with character and competence, they will bring forth a young person.
With the money back politics we play in this country, politics play in this country.
They'll bring, yeah, I'm serious. I think over one.
You see, there's a particular candidate that said something when he was asked, why is he contesting again with this issue of zoning? Are you sure you're going to get it? You know what he said? He said, he said, I'm sure it's from your party that I'm not going to mention. He said, I'm going to get this ticket. He said, because I always get the ticket. So I was asking myself, I had to do little research on this man. Why is this man so confident? The truth is, anytime if this man can get to a political party, 2 days to a primaries, he will get the ticket. So the reason why this man is so confident is because of money.
There's so much lack and...
So much, is it the lack or the system that have been created?
There's the delegate system. You talked about there's need for independent candidacy. That are in
are you sure it will work in this country?
I think in
we wake up one morning, someone to contest as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Will you vote for me?
If the people like you, they'll vote for you.
No, will you vote for me?
I'll vote for you if you have the characters I want my leaders to have.
Okay, you will not tell me that I need to start from the scratch like you said earlier when we started this conversation.
No, what I meant, you need to start from. I didn't say it's. No, it's not like it's always like you start from the scratch. There's sometimes what you don't know is above you.
Okay.
You understand, and you need to have glean on the knowledge of. When we say we want young persons to be in position of decision making, we must glean on the knowledge, the inadequacies of those who were ahead of us.
I think, would you think, because what I've been able to deduce from what you were saying is the issue of the fact that you are quite conversant with status quo, that there is a way politics is being run in this country. You need to grow, you need to do this, but don't you think there's need for a paradigm shift in this country?
There is.
Where somebody needs to come in and destroy the establishment.
Growth comes with it.
Like Donald Trump said, it's drain this one. Somebody needs to come in and break the status quo and cause a shift in the way things...
What happened in Donald Trump's climb is quite different from what happened in our climb. I'll give you an example. I became an essay to the governor. I was privileged to see the note where the governor, where the appointments were being made, and Elvis essay. What I saw was essay security. I was privileged to see that classified information with the names that went to the governor. But the governor cancelled it and put SO Youth. You know why? He knows that I'm into youth advocacy. He knows that I will not fit into that place. So I think it's hard to do it. People should know what you stand for. This is what you're good at. We've had technocrats too, become leaders and they don't do anything because they picked maybe technocrats around themselves. So sometimes you need to put people that have felt the pulse
But
of
don't
the
you think
people.
we've had issues? Listen, if we're going to go through this issue of technical coming in, not doing the right thing, don't you think the problem now is this status quo? Because even when the technical comes in and decide to put the right persons in key position that can drive the desired change or development, the same old politicians, they will tell you that this is not how it is done.
Yes, that's true.
How it is done. So the question is this: what is it? How is it done? The way you are doing it, is it causing the desired change we need as a country?
No.
You are not giving us light, rather you are distributing darkness. Our roads are not dead traps. We don't have, nothing is working in this country. Why? And you keep telling us that this is not how it is done. So if everybody's going to come in and do it how it is done, will there be desired change?
No, there won't be desired change.
So,
there will not be desired change.
More technocrats.
I've not said we shouldn't have technocrats. I subscribe to where it's technocrat, but you need to feel the pulse of the people.
Okay, who are these people? The party leaders?
No, not the party
because
leaders.
The man on the street is not complaining of technocrats. What he's complaining about is darkness. He's complaining about bad roads. It's the politician that is complaining that this is not how it is done. Normally, you have neglected the party with the escorts in the party. Because the complaint about technocrats has to do with the party.
Party, that's true.
It's not with development.
That's true.
Good.
But still, we still have other persons you will not term as technocrats that are developing their states.
Okay, great.
You agree with me? But in a nutshell is only us that will make Nigeria better. And when we advocate for young persons to be on the table where critical decisions are made, is, if you notice, as I'm here now as an essay to the governor, and you find out that when I want to engage some people, it'll be like, you are part of them, people are the one causing problems. Yeah. You can't be from afar and change the system. You have to be in the system to change it. If I have like 4 more young persons in a boardroom where some critical decisions want to be made, and or have like maybe 3 older politicians who make the day, then when one person gets to the top, what we'll do is to drag that young person back down just because he's in the midst of political vultures. We'll be like, he's not competent enough, he was in that administration and all that. It becomes a problem.
Thank you very much, Mr. Helvis, for stopping by now. We want to wrap up this show now. Okay. But I want to ask this critical question. What does it take to become a member of the Not Too Young to Lead initiative?
It should be a young Nigerian within the age of 18 to 40. Okay. That is hunger, that has this test for leadership and change.
What do you guys do for these persons? What's the benefit?
What we normally do, is a 360-degree leadership, because a lot of people think for you to be a leader, you just need to be in a political party. It's either you should be in the private sector or the public sector. Because one way or the other, if you're good in the private sector, one way or the other, you should be able to, like you are here now managing young people. I think you should be able to, be a good manager in the House of Assembly or anywhere because of your wealth of experience. Okay. Yeah.
Now we're coming back to the
what we do, we're raising young people who tell their leaders what to do, or better still, push them aside and show them how it's been done.
Thank you very much, Mr. Helvis Mobi, for stopping by. This is how far we can go on today's breakfast show. Please follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and please do well to share our content anytime you see them drop. We're also live on YouTube at TSLNIGERIA TV. Do have a great day.
Stay connected to TSL Nigeria and get updates on the go all day, every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel on TSL Nigeria TV and join our online family.